He wasn't there in some of them. But the 4 buildings in Clyde represent more than 50% of the total valuation of the town of Clyde. I made this point, the town of Clyde, when I was trying to get them to change their deposits and go forth over to Clyde. And they looked at me as far as from 50% of the valuation. I think we need to put our deposit review. So they did. All this, you've heard all this, you don't want to hear more of that. So I've got to go on to another thing that some of you that haven't been around that long, you haven't heard, but some of you are going to have to check through it again. Back, I don't know what year it was, but anyway, the North Carolina League decided they were going to hold a convention on board ship. Boy, that suited an old sailor like me. So Ed had just come on the board a little time before that. He and I roomed together. One on the Cyber-4, Norwegian cruise line out of Wilmington, went down to Puerto Rico and so forth. We got to going down through the Caribbean, and all of a sudden the ship hit something that sounded like the whole front end had come out of it, you know. And Ed had the top mock, and it was dark. And he hit the floor first, like this. He says, "Look, what was that?" I said, "Yeah, that was one of those Caribbean whales." Finally got back in bed, and I didn't know a person could eat as much as but if you've ever been on a cruise, and I know all of you have, there's plenty to eat. We had a special friend that was a server, and Ed kept that fella going. I thought, I didn't know one person could eat it. But we had a great time on board that ship and had a great meeting and accomplished something. But we're pulled into Puerto Rico, and I don't know, I think Ed found this out, I didn't. He decided that was going over to one of the casinos and have a little outing. Well, the ship was over here on this side of the water, and he had to come around through the casino over here. We went to the casino, and before we went in, the taxi driver, he started to pay him, and he says, "Now, Mr. So-and-so," says, "we want to stay as long as we can at this casino. I want to pay you now, and you just be here when I come back. Now, we'll be back here about 10 o'clock or something like that. I forget what it was." So I had paid him for the trip there and the trip back to the ship. And I thought, you know that man? And he got his name. But anyway, we stayed late and came out. Started looking for him. And these other taxi drivers says, "We don't even know him." Well, we kept waiting on this particular driver. He didn't show up. And the ship was already pulling that horn, you know. And we're pulling out of here at a certain time, whether you're here or not. So finally, I told Ed, I says, "You can stand here and wait on that man." I'm going to get a taxi and go back to the ship because I don't want to swim back back to Well, we made it back to the ship and got on board. That ended that excursion. But I have one more, I think, is all I'm entitled to. Many things we did together, many outings we had together, and always had a very good time, learned a whole lot. But he's been a great companion to be out with, always amenable to anything we wanted to do, always wanted to catch fish. There's a lot of people in here like that. But anyway, wife and I decided that we would go to Alaska. The convention that year was going to be in Vancouver, so we thought, you know, while you're in Vancouver, why not go on to Cabinet? So 3 or 4 days before about ready to leave, he said, he said, Buxton, you going to Alaska? I said, how about going with you? I said, okay, Ed, come on. So we packed up 4 convention suits and 4 Alaska outfits, put them in the trunk of my big old car. We drove to Vancouver and flew to Vancouver. We attended the meeting, then put everybody together in the car and took off driving by ferry on the way to Alaska. Well, a lot of things happened between here and Alaska. We had the best time. Every time the ship was slowed down, we'd put out our fishing gear and fish. Of course, they had the food on there, and we ate a lot of food. And we got to Juneau and decided that we were going fishing there. And we had a couple of days there, so we took the wives and turned them into the hotel. I ran into a game warden of all things, and I said, where can a man catch a salmon? Well, he said, that's no problem. He says, just drive up to the Oak Bay and throw a fix in and you'll catch fish. So I didn't ask him where to buy a license. Neither one of us had a license. But we drove up to Oak Bay, and we were up to Oak Bay, and there wasn't anything there but a few seafood, sea houses and Oak Bay. Ed said, we don't have a license, and we can't fish. I said, Ed, you can go back to Juneau and get a license if you want to. And I said, I am going to fish. If I get caught, I'll pay the fine and worry about it later. Well, we went out. I had 2 lures. And we started fishing, and it was fairly shallow water. And we were catching one salmon right after the other. The only problem, he'd get hung on the bottom every once in a while. Well, for the first 3 or 4 times, I waded out and got his hook loose because we only had 2 lures. Finally, after I did this about 3 or 4 times, I said, Ed, the next time you get on, you'll get too suck. So I looked around and finally saw him go out and wade and get it out, and we continued fishing. And then all of a sudden, when we got through fishing, he says, Buck, where's my billfold? I said, Ed, I don't know. I said, I made your billfold. Lucky, you reckon somebody got that along the bank? He'd taken out everything out of his pockets and laid it on the shore And while we were fishing, the tide comes in real fast, and it's one of the deepest tides you have. Well, thank goodness the water was smooth as it could be, and we looked around for that billfold and his other belongings, couldn't find a thing. Finally, we got to looking out on Oak Bay, and as I say, it was a clear, even day, and that water was smooth as could be. There was something that looked like a billfold out about halfway across the bay. To determine whether a billfold would float or not, I took mine out. Whether you realize it or not, a good bit of the billfold will float. Anyway, for a little while. Well, we determined that could be his billfold. So, Ed first started walking out with his clothes on. And let me tell you something. In a few minutes, he'd taken everything off with his DVD. And tried to have a camera field and stream with a big news. He got out so far, got up to about his waist. He said, "Now, Buck," says, "if I get in trouble, don't try to come and get me." I said, "Ed, don't worry." 34-degree water, and getting up around his shoulders now. Finally, he says, "Look," he says, "I'm not going after that." He came back to shore. The next thing to do was to see if we could find a boat. We'll start up through there, and there's cabin after cabin, and boat after boat. The only problem, they had a log chain around every one of them, and a line. We couldn't get one. Finally found one man at home. I said, "Mister, could I borrow your boat?" He said, "Yeah." So I got in his boat and tried to row it, and there's one of these that had a front on both ends. I told him that I was a former sailor. Finally he said to me, "Mister, get out of that boat." Says, "You can't tear it in any way at all. Let me get in that." So he got in that, and I showed him the spot that we wanted to go to. He went to that spot directly. Now this is halfway across Oak Bay, if you've been to Juneau. He picked that billfold up and held it like this. Came back over to where we were. Ed got that billfold out, gave him a $100 bill. I thought, "Ed, that's awfully expensive." Just one boat trip. But that man took that $100 and followed us all the way. We won't know if he could do anything. We got down to where our official here was. He got out of his truck and came down and, "Mr. Grigg, can I help you some way? Can I take you into town?" We said, "No, we're fine." But that was a story that some of you maybe heard twice. I don't know. It's a shame you just have to put up with it. It's one of the greatest stories. We took those salmon that we had first. We caught so many, we gave a lot of them away, and then secondly, we took some of them to Gladys Man. We had the all those salmon supper you've ever seen. And again, he can eat more than